I want to talk about my first concert. Anybody remember their first concert?
Yeah.
Isn't that the shit? I'm gonna be dead honest. I need to be completely honest about this. My first concert, I grew up in Washington, D.C. I was born in 1972. I grew up in Northeast D.C. My dad worked for the government. He had a job. We lived pretty much, I went to public school right in D.C. I was exposed to hip hop very early. I remember Rapper's Delight at my school. That popped off. That was huge. And then it was DC, so I remember go-go music, all these funk bands, Trouble Funk, Chuck Brown, all the stuff I was growing up. And this is all like the early 80s, building up. But then we moved out of DC when I was really young, and we moved down south. My dad lost his job. He got a job down south in this small town, 4 hours in Virginia, 4 hours in Virginia, a town called Buena Vista, Virginia, in the Appalachian Mountains, a town of 5,000. Like, fucking, I mean, this was a tough town. He got a job at a little college there. And this was like a culture shock, complete culture shock. I mean, this was like hardcore rednecks. Like punch in the face for reading a book type of rednecks. Like Charlottesville was like the big town. Like I know what the fuck's going on. This is just fucking, but I was this kid from DC and I got to go, my mom took me to my first concert in Roanoke, Virginia. My first concert was called the Fresh Fest. I don't know if you guys know about the Fresh Fest, but the Fresh Fest, I was heavily into breakdancing. Breakdancing pretty much saved my life, all right? Breakdancing, I'm gonna tell you the whole story, but I just wanna tell you about my first, what the lineup was. The Fresh Fest, if you know hip hop, was the first concert series that they took out of New York and did a full arena tour. The very first one, ever. And this is before hip hop was on the radio. The lineup was Grandmaster Flash, Houdini, doing the Freaks Come Out Tonight, right? Then it was Run D.M.C. on their first album, when they're 19-year-old kids, right? They're just standing there pointing. You're like, these dudes are bad, right? Right? And then the headliners were the Fat Boys. I don't know if you guys know about the Fat Boys, but they were the realest hip-hop group of all time. Right? They just rapped about food. Right. Every song was either about cheeseburgers or pizza. Let me tell you, when you're 11 years old, you're feeling that shit. But this is the real deal. My dad, when we moved down this town, like a year later, my dad passed away. I was 10 years old. My dad passed away. Don't be sad. He died in his sleep. The only problem, he was driving a car at the time. That's a true story, everybody. Don't get sad. I smoke pot and talk to him every night. You can talk to dead people when you're high. I don't know if you know that. He just always goes, keep doing that joke, Rob. One day it's gonna work. But why I'm telling you this is I was so sad and I would just breakdance. This is right at 84. So hip hop just popped off. It was Egyptian Lover. I would just go down, it was all that electronic jam on it, and then came Run DMC, 30 Days, all those early hip hop records I know by heart, because I would just go down in the basement and I would just pop and lock for hours because I was so sad. I would just breakdance, I would just eat SpaghettiOs and pop and lock for 4 hours at a time. Like I was never into sports. My brother's like a huge jock. I was just a weirdo, and I fucking heard this like electronic music from space, and I was just like, oh shit, I'm gonna do that, right? I just came down. But then this leads into why I'm a comedian, right? My mom's the reason I'm a comedian. My mom is funny, my mom is out there, my mom is weird, right? Hardcore weird. Like, she doesn't even do drugs weird. Like, she's just real weird. Like, she's out there. Because we used to live in this little rednecky town, and she used to drive around on a multicolored bicycle that was like technicolored. And it wasn't like a nice bicycle, it was just painted purple, orange, green. She has the same as hair as I do. Right? And she would just ride around. And this is in '84. Nobody was doing this shit. She's just out there. Like, my mom has written me letters on coconuts and put a stamp on the coconut and put it in the mailbox and sent it to me. Right? Another one thing, she likes to go to, this is when we were little, she still does this type of shit. She'll go to antique stores, right? And she'll just get pictures of random people and then wrap them up as Christmas gifts to people. And just wrap up just random pictures of random people and wrap them up in wrapping paper and give them to my friends, right? My friend would be like, who's this dude just leaning against a Coke machine? I'm like, my mom's just fucking with you, right? Completely fucking with you. Just giving you random shit. Just because it's funny. Some dude eating fucking potato chips that she doesn't know. But the reason, then I heard the Fresh Fest was coming, because I was breakdancing, and the Fresh Fest was coming. We used to listen to this like station in Richmond. You had to get like an antenna, this super antenna to listen to hip hop. And I heard the Fresh Fest was coming. And none of my friends in this town liked hip hop. Everybody was into heavy metal. Nobody wanted to go see the Fresh Fest. Nobody wanted to see the Fat Boys. None of my friends. I mowed lawns. I got $15 to buy this ticket, right? I said, Mom, I want to go see the Fat Boys. She was like, fuck yeah, you're going to see the Fat Boys. So it was me and my mom driving to the Fresh Festival in Roanoke, Virginia. It was an hour away. We're in a beat-up station wagon to the very first hip-hop concert ever. Houdini, Grandmaster Flash, Run D.M.C, the Fat Boys, me and my mom. I'm wearing a full Fila suit. Yes. Full Fila suit. We pull up to Starcade Arena. That's what it was called. Starcade Arena. Right? And that was the big amphitheater there. It was like a big arena. And it was literally packed. And this is before hip-hop got super violent. This is just breakdancing and bubblegum, right? It's just lasers, right? This is just freaking, this is it. This is it. The boom bap. This is where it all started, right? And we just come in, and this place is packed. It looks like Madison Square Garden. Kids are just pouring in. It's all like 13 to 17-year-old kids. 95% black. 95% black. We pull up right to the front of Starcade Arena, right? And this is before pagers. This is before cell phones. My mom just opens up the door and goes, go on in. By yourself. Go on in. Have fun, right? Like, either she really loved me or she was just trying to get rid of me right there, right? You can look at that two ways. Right? And she went to McDonald's and read a book. And I went into, and I saw the best concert of my life. It still blows my mind that I saw this thing. Like, it's literally the beginning of everything funky and fresh in the universe. And I walk in, and it was a standing dance floor, and kids are just piling in. And I walked right up to the front. I was by myself, wearing a full Fila suit. I went right to the stage. I stood by the speaker, and the lights went down, right? The lights went down. Right? Everybody's packed in. Like, this is the first time hip-hop concert ever hit Virginia. Nobody had seen this type of shit, ever. On this full rider come out, this guy, 15 feet tall rider comes out. Right? And this guy's scratching. It's Grandmaster Flash. Just going, jigga, 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 jigga. Smoke machines are going, whoo. Woo, all the smoke, and he's just scratching. Woo, woo, chicka, chicka, chicka. And these lasers start flying everywhere. And this is like that 80s lasers, like that Miami Vice, that neon green, that tight shit. Bam, bam. bam, and it's bouncing off the smoke machine. Grandmaster Flash is scratching. I'm standing right there. Jigga, 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 jigga. That's starting to write bubble letters. The lasers are writing bubble letters in the sky, like fresh and break and watch out, kid, you don't even know. And I witnessed the best concert of my life. Houdini came out, they did 5 minutes of funk, they did Freaks Come Out at Night. Yeah. I saw Run D.M.C. off their first album, they're 19-year-old kids. I'm 11 years old. 2 dudes in leather jackets just grab the mics by themselves, kill it. This is like seeing Led Zeppelin, like I've never seen it. Kids are popping and locking, going nuts. They just melt down the place, right? No, everybody's like, you can't top that, right? Then my dudes came out, the Fat Boys. 300-pound dudes in gold satin jackets, right? And they're sitting there and they're rapping to me, from me to you, right here, just rapping at me, just going, cheeseburgers, pizza, pizza, and there's lasers. They're rapping about cheese. I start popping and locking like I'm on meth for the next 15 minutes. Oh God, lasers, cheeseburgers, pizza, beef, boom, boom, bam, bam, boom. I wasn't high, I wasn't drunk. This was pure, uncut joy. Yeah. I'll never be that happy again. And after the show, my mind was blown. I was just like, oh my God, did I just witness that? Was that for real? And I just walked outside. And I was like, oh, nobody messed with me. Nobody said shit. Nobody cared. Everybody was happy. Everybody was popping and locking, listening to space music from aliens. It was the next level. You were witnessing some wild shit. And I remember just being, my mind blown. I was walking outside. My mom, we didn't have a cell phone. She didn't tell me where to meet her. But my mom's out there, right? She's got great timing. She's like autistic, right? Like she was at McDonald's reading Shogun, right? And she comes pulling up, and she just pulls up, right? She pulls up out of nowhere, just in the station wagon, pulls up, opens the door, I go in, right? I sit there, I go home, we drive home, right? She gave me one of the best experiences anybody could ever imagine. Like I have that for the rest of my life because she did that, you know? That's amazing. Like I have that you can't call that out. Like I know this is Williamsburg, this is Super Vice magazine, right? Hipsters want to have like music big dick contests. Like, oh, I saw Franz Ferdinand. Right, I saw The Weeknd last weekend. Right, I saw the White Stripes in Detroit. And I go, look me dead in the eye. Fuck you. I saw the Fat Boys in a full Fila suit with my mom. With no irony whatsoever. All right, thank you very much, everybody. Good night, Brooklyn. Have a good night. That's it.